It's so funny that you talk about, crying, because that's what I keep hearing. Everybody's crying all the time. We thought it was like fun and exciting. We didn't know everybody was going to cry.
We are truly, truly proud of being a part of this wonderful piece and being able to carry on the legacy of these two wonderful characters, these wonderful women, and hopefully inspiring people to lead with love and strength and vulnerability and kindness too.
Yeah. I mean, it's really, there's so much love and strength in the source material, and the fact that we get to be the ones to honor that and just bring it to this audience in a different and new way. We're so grateful to have been chosen to do that, because we've taken so much from these characters too that we needed. And I hope that the audiences can also take what they need from these girls as well. Yeah.
Where does this start for you?
It starts like, who the hell is going to play Elphaba and Galinda? Like, where are we going to find these people in the world? I also, I'm a huge fan of the show. I was one of those people being like, when are they making this movie? I need to see this movie. And finally I was like, oh, wait, I can call them and find out. And just so happens we were in the pandemic and they called me about it. And it was them one movie on my list that I was like, yeah, I know how to do this. I know how to do this to protect it, but also like do the things that I imagined in my head as watching it when I was younger. And then it was finding Ari and Cynthia. Like, who would have guessed? We had to trust the process that they would arrive and that some person would grab these roles. And Cynthia came in with her jeans and t-shirt and sang Wizard and I, and we knew God was looking down on this. You're like, that is our Elphaba. And then Ari came in being like, is this Ariana Grande? She's really going to do that? And she came in committed. She was Galinda through and through, and we were shocked. We were like, if the world knew what she can actually do, this is going to be crazy. And then to bring them two together, they came to my house in the living room sang For Good with Stephen Schwartz on the piano. I brought my kids, like, kids, you're watching this right now. And it was the most magical thing I've ever seen. And then we knew we had a movie.
I feel incredibly privileged and also just incredibly lucky to be a part of something that's been such a long time coming and just so incredibly beloved. I really do see my 18-year-old self in Nessa and just going off to college for the first time and being away from home, and I really related to her a lot.
I do remember having my first callback with John and hearing him talk about the world of Oz and ask me questions about what I thought about Bach as a munchkin. Because he approached it from the same way that I think any of us fans would. We love it so much, and we want to take care of these characters and take care of this world. So then to be able to step into the world and see it beautifully realized, it was just really special.
I think John M. Chu really believes in no small parts, and he sat me and Bronwyn James down before we started shooting, and it was us and John and Ari, and the four of us really dug into these two people that might seem ancillary in the show or in the story, but what we arrived at was these are their Fanny and Shenchen are Elphaba's, are Galinda's publicists almost, they're shaping their persona.
Okay, my favorite moment right now is when Madame Morrible tells Galinda that she's going to be rooming with Elphaba, but I will say that the last time we watched it, Sentimental Man really made me cry. Jeff really got me.
They did a screening for us at SNL the week that Ari hosted. So it was everyone at SNL, you can come watch Wicked months before it comes out. And I was originally not going to go. But the day of, I changed my mind because I was like, no, you know what? The same day, my first trip to New York, I was begging my parents to take me to the Gershwin. We couldn't afford tickets, but I was like, can I at least go to the Gershwin to press my face up against the glass? Just so I can be close to it. And the same day we went to 30 Rock and did the NBC studio tour, and I sat in the SNL seats, and then I was just I wish I were at Wicked instead. But the fact that those happened on the same day, and I'm right now standing here working, manifesting and being involved in both those things, I was I have to go see it with my SNL friends, with my coworkers, just to have it be full circle and intersect at those things.
I was tapping into and inspired by the original Glinda from the MGM movie from the 1930s, and also nature and some the original Wicked Broadway show. I mean, and so I think that all of that together helped to guide where we might go.
He knows that I'm ultimately there to serve him. So if there's ever anything, if John Chu needs a change on the day, my job is to change that choreography to make sure that it's right. We really never settle, and I think that's what makes him so special. We've been working together for over 15 years now, and there's just a shorthand. He really is and he's such a clear storyteller.
First of all, they're absolute world-class vocalists. They have amazing instruments, but what's more, they have astonishing control of their instruments, so we were able to play around the studio and try different things and make decisions together about, all right, we're going to do this riff, but we're not going to do that. So it was just really, like dealing with very, very fine musicians. I mean, I should say that Idina Menzel and Kristen Chenoweth are pretty great musicians as well. So it's not as if I hadn't had this experience before.
It's a lot of people, like our family, we couldn't have afforded to go get a hotel room, have dinner, and go to Broadway from Oklahoma. We just didn't have the money. And now I prayed for like Phantom of the Opera movies and Les Mis movies, and they didn't come out. Even Cats, I would have taken Cats then. But now we have a classic because of John Chu. I always tell Ariana, like, we set it in stone and they're bringing it home. And I was hoping that I'd be alive to see it. I didn't know if I would be. I didn't even know if they'd make a movie. So the fact that they did, and that I'm here to see it, and that I get to enjoy the legacy of it, and then it's in my DNA, and now it's in their hands, and they can take it now and run.
I think we intended to just lead with as much truth as we possibly could, and we were lucky enough to have John Chu, who's an amazing director who's taken great care of us and the piece and everyone who is involved with it, and it starts from the top. And what that meant was that we had the space to create intimacy within these roles and within these
this world that is larger than life.
Yeah.
We had the privilege of grounding it in a really intimate and honest way, while working in the largest, most spectacular sets.
That's right.
And it was a beautiful journey.